And oftentimes what we try to do with our webinars is we try to pack so much into a single hour. And that is not the most effective way. In fact, you leave people overwhelmed.
Wake up, it's time to be free. Wake up, what's blind now I see. Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
So welcome everyone to another episode of the Daily Jules, where I drop nuggets of wisdom to help you increase your degrees of freedom. Doesn't matter how many college degrees you have, the only degree that really matters is your degree of freedom. Doesn't matter how much money you make, what really matters is how you actually make money. So today we got a great question from Tina, and Tina is asking about how to conduct webinars. I'm sure you see them all the time, people advertising, come sit on my free webinar and learn about this kind of marketing or this kind of health supplement or this kind of business building tool or how to be a better spouse, all kinds of things out there in terms of being marketed for webinars. And the reason webinars are so powerful is because oftentimes they are time stamped, meaning that you have to show up at that particular date and time in order to experience it. And when a webinar is structured that way, you know that either I'm there or I'm going to miss it. And you have to make arrangements in your life which actually demonstrate your commitment in order to actually be present for that webinar. It's the same reason why people do live events, even if they're cost intensive, because somebody arranging babysitting and flying to a certain city to be fully present for your event actually demonstrates how committed they are. So webinars are a really powerful tool. Obviously, you don't need a venue. All you need are a few pieces of technology to make that happen. And so I want to go over those technologies today. And before we even get into the technologies, really get clear on the intention and what a webinar is supposed to do. Okay. How to put on a great webinar. Okay. So first and foremost, let's just get the technology out the way. Don't overwhelm yourself. It does not require a lot of technology. You usually have all the technology that you need to put on a webinar right now, with the exception of the software. So the first technology that you need, of course, you need video. You need a webinar technology, and then you need something to present with. Okay. So for video, oftentimes you can simply just use your webcam. Almost every single computer out there today is equipped with a webcam. So your webcam is fine to use for your webinar. Webinars don't come out crisp and clean like a movie because it is using a webcam, and it's also using the bandwidth in order to push that video feed to all the people who are attending your webinar. So you don't need something high quality. You don't need to go out there and buy a camera in order to do a webinar, right? And so your webcam is absolutely fine there. So there's your webcam. There's also cameras that you can buy. I forgot the name of it. There's cameras that you can buy that actually go on the top of your desktop, right? That may have 1080p, which is higher resolution cameras that you can put in. So you can get a 1080. It's still called a webcam. It's just it'll go into your USB port on your actual desktop or your laptop. And then from a microphone, I'll put video and audio. I use a Blue Yeti. Here is the actual box. But I use a Blue Yeti. Here's the box for that. This is what my microphone that's right here actually looks like. And it has a more quality sound than perhaps your computer mic, because that's not what your computer was really built for, right? Your computer mic was literally just built to have probably meetings, and nobody really cares about the quality of the audio on a meeting, right? So you need some sort of microphone, but your computer mic would do just fine for a webinar. If you want to upgrade, you can get the Yeti or something like that, or the Blue Ice, and those range anywhere from $50 to $100. Okay. Then you need a webinar technology, and there's several ones out there. There's GoToMeeting. There's Zoom. There's Webinar Jam. and I'm sure there's others, but these are the most common ones, and you need to find one of those technologies that serve you. There's actually also a free one, which is Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts. So that is free. So your webcam, you probably already have it. Google Hangouts is free, right? You just have to send people out the URL for that. And then on your webinar, unless you're going to be talking directly to camera for the entire time, you need a way to present. So a lot of people do screen sharing. So if you're walking people through a demonstration, most of these technologies allow you to share your computer screen with everybody who's watching. Now on your computer screen, if you're not just going to be doing a tutorial, you actually might need PowerPoint, right? Or Keynote on Mac. Keynote on Mac. But you can also do what I'm doing right here, is actually use a dry erase board. And this dry erase board didn't cost a lot. You can use butcher paper. You can use whatever you want to make it an experience for those who are actually attending. So this is what, now that we got this out of the way, the video and audio, the webinar technology and the presentation, now let's really go really quickly into the goal of a webinar. Now, most people think that the goal of a webinar is to teach, right? We hear the saying, if you give a man if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, he'll eat forever. And oftentimes what we try to do with our webinars is we try to pack so much into a single hour, and that is not the most effective way. In fact, you leave people overwhelmed at the end of the webinar, and they don't know what to do, and they're in a worse position at the end of the webinar than they were at the beginning. And that's not where we want to leave them. We want to help them make some sort of progress and get some sort of result in advance. So I think about webinars in 4 ways. There's 4 purposes of a webinar, okay? 4 purposes, and I call it webinar worthy. Okay, so the first purpose is to make sure that the individual that is there doesn't leave your webinar blameworthy. You're not blaming them for their particular situation or circumstance. You're actually celebrating them for the fact that they even showed up for your webinar, that there's some hunger and curiosity in them that says, I need to learn something to break through to the next level. So part of your webinar is actually releasing them from blame. Some people do this by creating an outward enemy that is out there that is actually the reason why they're in the situation that they're in. So you may blame student loans, you may blame the banks, you may blame their job, you may blame just lack of financial education, right? You may blame some sort of enemy to show them that they are not blameworthy, right? From there, you actually want to show them that they are actually worthy of whatever it is that they desire. That they are worthy of whatever it is that they desire, that they can have it and they actually deserve, whether it's great health, whether it's financial freedom, whether it is an intimate relationship, right? Whatever it is, that they are actually worthy of it. Because one of the things that stops people from actually working with you is the fact that they don't feel that they are worthy, right? From there, you actually want to show that you are trustworthy, right? And you can do this by showing testimonials of people who have worked with you, right? Because you are probably a stranger to them at this moment in time, and you have to build trust. And you can do that in a variety of ways by sharing your own story and sharing the stories of people you've actually helped succeed, right? And then from there, whatever you're trying to sell them, you have to show them that your product or service is worthy, right? So this is you, that you're worthy, right? And then you want to show them that your product or service is worthy, again, through demonstration. So this is how I think about webinars, right? You want to one, empathize. This is the empathize. Empathize first. That's empathizing, right? Then you want to empower them. Okay. Then you want to show evidence. And then you want to enroll them in whatever it is that you're offering at the end of your webinar. If you structure a webinar in this way, and I actually think that it's probably 30%, 20% empower, 30% evidence, and then 20% on enrollment. If you structure your webinar this way, I guarantee that you will have some amazing results. So this is how I think about my webinars. A webinar has been a powerful tool for me to get my message out there at scale to people. You can run Facebook ads to webinar. You can even set up your webinars to be evergreen, meaning that people can sign up at any time of day to take your webinar. I have tools and systems and courses of action that will help you do that. But this is how I think about webinars, and it's a great tool, and I believe it can work for almost any business. So this is Julian Gordon with another episode of the Daily Jules. Go create your first webinar if you haven't already done so. And if you have done so, make sure you structure it in this way to see if you get better results. With that, I will catch you in the next episode. Thanks so much. Peace. I hope these mindsets, metaphors, and methodologies blessed you. If you desire more freedom, go to getfreenow.com to subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, or Facebook, and get 4 of my best courses in the Freedom School for 100% free.